All right, today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Mike Tengan out in Kaizen Jiu-Jitsu Kailua. And just like every other interview, we start the exact same way. Can you tell me how you got into Jiu-Jitsu and how you got to where you're at now?
Okay, so I got into Jiu-Jitsu at first, a lot of people, I guess, watching UFC, seeing Royce Gracie, and at the time, I think UFC 28 was out. That's back in 2005. So I started Jiu-Jitsu back in 2005 with January under Ron Shiraki.
Okay.
And then, from Ron Shiraki to Mark Carano and then to Kimo Kreis, all under K-Team.
Okay.
And then just recently, I decided to, branch off from K-Team and, go on my own path, my own journey. And pretty much a student under Marcelo now. So, it's a longer route to, to get the black belt, but it's a good route. I feel like everything is meant to happen for a reason, and this is my path, yeah.
If you're going to train under somebody, the greatest of all time is a good choice.
Right. You're right, the GOAT.
So at Kaizen, you guys have been open for about 5 months.
About 5 months now,
You've had
yes.
some success. Can you tell me your transition between training, opening a gym as a brown belt, and then now being a full-time coach?
I guess at first, opening as a brown belt was kind of scary because you don't really see much brown belts owning their own school, right? Nowadays, I know back when I started Jiu-Jitsu, there was hardly any black belts.
Yep, there's a lot of black belts in Hawaii.
But there's
now.
a lot of brown belts that own schools, and that's one thing that scared me. And then the other thing that scared me was where I'm gonna get my black belt from, right? So after I decided to branch off and take that leap of faith and open my own school, and I decided to talk to Marcelo, and because we've been training since he moved to Hawaii, and I asked him if I could be his student and get my black belt through him. And he's like, okay, we're gonna do this. You can be my student. I need to see you on the mat more, and now when I go to compete in IBJJF, not just me and my son, we both represent Marcelo. So, it's like a dream come true, right?
Yes,
just to train under him is like a dream come true. It still trips me out when I think about it, but yeah.
Your talent as a brown belt, we always talk about once you get to purple belt, you're kind of already in that realm of you're an upper belt.
Right.
So as a brown belt, your talent is, you've competed with black belts. You beat black belts on the mat in the gym all the time. You are the super heavyweight champ at Brave, I believe.
Brave, yes.
Yeah. So you've had a lot of success. But from the outside looking in, when someone's like, oh, but he's just a brown belt, do you think that affects the gym, or is there something that still causes you to have success? And you have quite a few students here at Kaizen.
I don't think it really affects it too much because, students, they gravitate towards a certain instructor that they like, or, it's about the instruction, it's about the bond you create with your students. You can be, a world-class black belt, but to be a coach and to run your own school is a totally different thing, right? To coach students is totally different, and to build those bonds, right? That's where it really matters. And I learned early on how to be a coach, how to be an instructor from early on from Ron Shiraki. I'd help him with his classes and help him with the kids, and I just translate that to how I do my teachings actually now, with a little bit of Ron Shiraki, with a little bit of Mark Carano, and now a little bit of Marcelo. So to me, it's like having that combination is, I'm just lucky to have it, right? It's so good.
It's like you take everything and then you turn it into your own creation, but there's still influences from everyone that you've learned under.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing. What do you think separates your gym or your philosophies in teaching versus any other gym, anywhere you go? Or what do you focus on, I guess, in your gym?
What I focus on in my gym, I like to have, the competitor aspect, and, have a good competitor, have a good curriculum for competition, but also like to have the family aspect of it where, we bond, we get together, we really get to know the students, we hang out besides in the gym, we go hang out, we go fishing sometimes, we do a lot of stuff other than jiu-jitsu at Kaizen. I guess it's something else that I grew up with. early on in K team, that's how it was. You know, we would train hard, get beat each other up, but we grew so close. And outside of the gym, we would hang out, and I had all these big brothers, you know, beating up on me. And now it's like it's my turn to, I mean, not beat up on my students, but to pass on that culture, culture. Just a little bit of my influence into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different reasons people come to train jiu-jitsu. Some of it is we just want to be tough guys because we're guys. Sometimes it's a social aspect. Some people, they use it as like their therapy. It's like this is where I'm coming to bond, and being able to encompass all of that is a really beautiful thing where you're not just, hey, you have to compete. You have to be hard on your students. Do you have plans to compete in the future, maybe defend your belt, get out there, some of the local tournaments, or even some of the bigger IBJJF things?
Yeah, so for sure, I got some stuff planned. I mean, I guess I'm brave when they open up again. I definitely want to defend that belt and go out there again and do another super fight. I know Submission Battleground is coming back up. I talked to the promoter Mike just a few weeks ago. I ran into him.
Okay.
He said he's putting on another Submission Battleground super fight event. And he's also planning on doing a local tournament, so like a tournament style, gi no gi. I haven't heard the rules set yet, but that's something we're looking forward to support. Yeah.
I think the rumor I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but they were trying to create like an actual ranking system for Hawaii. Like, how cool would it be to have a local tournament, a local brand? You know, versus we have the other ones coming. They still, man, they're still good, but you know, support local, right?
Right.
That'd just be a beautiful thing.
Right. That is, I mean, yeah. Another thing about, I mean, locally, like, I mean, it's good to compete locally, but I think, just off subject, like just having Marcelo here, like, he can bring everyone together, and I think he's gonna really grow the level in Hawaii. So he can get all the good guys together, train hard together, you know, share knowledge, and when we go to compete in the mainland, we'll be, you know, better off that way. We're fighting against the mainland, not just amongst the people on this island, you know, on this rock. Like, I remember talking to you before, like, what does it mean to be the best in Hawaii, you know? I mean, it means something, right? But to go out there, I mean, like, what you know, some of the other guys are doing, like, you know, competing in the IBJJF events. I think on ADCC events. I think that's where. I think that's where it's at. We should be striving for those kind of tournaments and trying to accomplish those kind of big goals, and you know, trying to place in those kind of tournaments.
Yeah,
so
I mean, if you think about the past, right? Because we've had absolute legends, we've had world champions, we've had guys that did well at ADCC, and Hawaii, as far as America, was one of the top states for quite a while. Something happened, we fell behind a little bit, and it feels like now with all the local talent coming up, we're actually fighting our way back. We're going to be one of those top 10, top 5 states.
We are catching up, right? Yeah, we are getting a lot of local people from Hawaii getting noticed now, so it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Do you have any students that you would be like, hey, watch out for this guy or girl? Like, hey, this is the one. I know your son competes a lot. I've seen his wrestling. It's pretty nice.
Definitely my son. I mean, he's, you know, trying to expose him to all those big tournaments, and we've been going, and you know, it's been a rough few tournaments, and but he's getting there. You know, he's starting to get the exposure, starting to get the feel for it. So. A lot of my students, maybe I think he's probably the only one, but I know there's some of my old teammates you gotta look out for, like some of the the guys from K team. Okay. Those guys, like, I mean, Kai Torigo, he's one of the
with the guard.
Right.
He got that killer guard. He's nice. He is nice.
They have a little group that they put together, and you know, it's like they're all from different gyms, but they come together just to help each other grow, and I think that's pretty cool. I think that's how everyone should be. Yeah,
he's a killer. The first time I saw him, I was like, who is that? Like, where did he come from? I think I went up and talked to you. I'm like, who is this guy? Because I don't know where he learned that, but that's amazing.
He's a sleeper.
He looks good. Yeah, he looks really good. So you say you get on Submission Battleground. Who would be your like dream match? You can call it like anybody, respectfully, disrespectfully, hopefully respectfully. But who would be the guy like, hey, I wanna go at it with this person for whatever reason?
Let me see. I guess I would like to go against. I guess, you know, people I lost before. You know what I mean, like.
Yeah. I
mean, no disrespect. I would like to go against Hunter. Hunter would be a good rematch. Yeah. So I went against him in Naga, and he caught me in a knee bar.
Okay.
But I feel like I could have done a little bit better, or And I know he's injured right now. He's rehabbing his knee.
Okay. Because he had a burner match with who did he fight at the last battleground?
Who did I fight?
No, Hunter.
Hunter. The last battleground. Oh, against Jeremy.
Jeremy, that's right. Sorry, Jeremy. That's my buddy. I was like, okay, I knew he fought, but he had a really good match there. That was a close one.
That was really good.
That'd be a good match.
That was a really good fight. Actually, a lot of the fights that night was really good.
Yeah, they were. Okay, so no Hunter. Who would be the second runner-up?
Let me see. I mean, I don't know. I'll face anybody. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, not really anyone particular, but I mean, I'm always willing to step up to anyone that wants to, I guess, wants to fight.
The follow-up to the question is then anybody, any era, all time. So not just Hawaii, but anybody in the history of jiu-jitsu, but like in their prime. Who would you want to fight?
Oh man, that's a rough one. Let me see. Oh, that's hard to think. Against anyone. I mean, I know I don't stand a chance, but I'll like to have a role with Mika Galval.
Oh,
he's one of my. He's younger than me, but he's kind of one of my heroes right now. So I'd like to have a role with him.
He's amazing.
Right.
I think when God was giving out attributes, He gave him all the jiu-jitsu attributes. Like he's fast, he's strong, he's flexible. You're like, where did you come from?
He seems like such a good kid, man. His whole attitude and.
Mika Galval would be amazing. Just to say like I was on the match with them. I got to fight him.
Right.
That'd be really cool. We talked a little bit before we started the video about you having to expand your school. What is the process, do you think, like timeline-wise, and what are you looking for long-term for your gym, for your association, for jiu-jitsu?
I guess timeline-wise, I guess ASAP as soon as possible. Yeah. So I definitely want to get bigger mat space, somewhere on the east side for sure.
Okay.
And this is where I'm from Kaneohe, yeah. So I'm from the east side, and this is where my roots is, and this is where, where I grew up, and this is what I know, and I feel like this is the people that I know. These are my people.
Give back to your community, right?
This is my people. So I mean, this is where I want to grow my roots, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. We're gonna switch gears a little bit. Another question I like to ask people is, what would Mike right now tell Mike when you started jiu-jitsu back in however many decades ago? Like, what's the biggest piece of advice you would give him as far as like how do you get better at jiu-jitsu? Better, faster, I guess.
I would say if I was to talk to myself, whatever, 15 years, 20-year-old Mike, I'll tell him, dude, you gotta be more disciplined, right? I mean, I was always the type to just wing it, I mean, I still kind of do that, right? I mean, I guess it's not a good thing, but I always did kind of wing it, just jump in tournaments, don't really train hard for it, just see what happens, right?
Like the Hawaii Tengan style, right?
Success, sometimes I have success, sometimes not as successful, but I mean, that's always been my style, right? Anytime, anywhere, I'm always game, I guess.
Are you still doing that now for the big fights, or is there a little more like intentional preparation?
Certain ones, kind of just wing it. But it's I prepare sometimes. My teammates, they know me. Yeah.
Sometimes in the locals, I'll show up, be like, hey, there's people in the bracket. Right. I'll just jump in. Like, we'll just see what happens. But when there's something online, or I know there's a bigger audience, a lot of times like, hey, I'm gonna actually hunker down and I'm gonna put a very intentional training camp for it. But it's a hard thing to do, especially in Hawaii. It's kind of part of the culture, part of the spirit.
I guess especially now, it's so hard for me. Like, before even owning my own school, it was hard because I have my son, I have a full-time day job, and it's like I was teaching jiu-jitsu, and it's so hard to find time to train for myself. Even like the Nagas, even when I do the local tournaments, I coach the whole day and compete at the end. It's not that great. It's not
Those
that
are
fun.
Tough.
Right.
I'm always trying to push, like, put the upper belts first. right? Put them on, let them get done, and then the rest of the day they can focus on
I think we should do it that way. I think that would be a great way to put it.
Brown and black belt division right off the bat. Get them out of here. They show up, they fight. Now they can go ahead and coach the rest of the day. I've been pushing that for years. I don't know why it's not that way. I'm sure there's some really good reasons, but if it was my way.
I guess some guys, they want to like run the higher levels at the end because there's more people to watch, or they're drawing the crowd. Or they should just do like now, just run separate days. Run separate days. That would work. But I would say run the adults first and then the kids the second day, right?
Man. So, someone will figure it out, and then someone will complain. That's just kind of how it works.
Right.
How do you balance a full-time job and a full-time gym? What is the process for you? Do you sleep? Do you have time for other
it's rough.
stuff?
I mean, it's just like it's constant. It's just constant, man. There's always wake up, go to work, come home, shower, come straight to the gym, teach. The whole from 4 to get up at 9 sometimes, and just repeat, rinse and repeat. Right, that's how it goes.
Would there be an option? Jiu-Jitsu has kind of changed on the financial side. Would there be an option to just run a gym as a full-time?
I mean, it's always the ultimate goal, right? I mean, for every instructor, just want to just run their gym full-time and just teach full-time, and that'll be it, right? But I mean, living in Hawaii, it's expensive, so I mean, if you always gotta have something on the side. I feel like even if you have your own gym, maybe you have a little side business on the side, and you kind of gotta have that right to. I mean, you don't really have to have it, but to live comfortably and stuff, right?
What do you think it would take to hit that turning point where that could be an option? Maybe for the next generation, maybe for someone like your son.
Yeah, so definitely. I mean, that's definitely the plan. Hopefully, he can take over the gym later on. He'll be one of the instructors over there later on. Hopefully, I mean, we'll see. As long as he keeps interest in it. The thing about him, I'm never forceful. Like even in competitions, I always want to let him have a choice. It's to do what he wants to do.
Very smart. Very smart. That kind of leads into my next question: was what advice would you give to a parent that has their kid, son, daughter in jiu-jitsu? What kind of advice would you give to the parent as far as guiding their son, their daughter, or even participating with them, or anything?
I think especially in jiu-jitsu, I think the biggest thing for a parent to do is put it in the gi and get on the mat themselves, right? To lead by example is the best way you can do for your kid. To me, and I mean that's one of the reasons why I started competing again. Not just for my son, but also for my students, right? Just to not just talk the talk, but walk the walk, right? And show them instead of show them how to do it instead of telling them how to do it, right?
I think being in touch, having the recency of those nerves and what you go through, that emotional process, not the physical competition, but the lead up to it, and then standing in the warm-up pit and all that. Like if you forget what that's like, it's hard sometimes to be like, hey, you should go do this. Like man, sometimes I'm just nervous. I don't know why. I'm
Even the best guys gets the nerves. Everyone gets the nerves. If the best guys say they don't get the nerves, they're lying. Right.
How do you deal with the nerves, or what is your process to kind of mitigate that?
The way I deal with the nerves is I don't know. I just try not to think too hard about it. I mean, I always have the game plan previous. Before you go to the match. That's one thing. You want to have a game plan. You don't want to go in and say, "Oh, I'm gonna wing it," and that's when the nerves happen. That's when the nerves happen, right? When you're gonna wing it and I don't have a game plan. I'm gonna wing it. Then you start thinking of all kind of outcomes and possible outcomes that you don't want. So I think you always gotta have a game plan, at least a plan A and a backup plan B, right?
Well, I really appreciate you gonna say something?
No, so that's how I deal with my nerves, right?
I really appreciate your time. Is there anything you would like to talk about? Maybe shout outs to people,
I guess,
or social media.
I guess I'm just really excited with Marcelo opening, in mid-November. That's probably the biggest topic that, I want to put out there. And like I said, I think it's going to attract all the best grapplers from Hawaii, on Oahu especially. So it's going to be, it's very exciting, and I'm very interested to see how it unfolds, right?
Yeah, bring the overall level up.
Right.
That would be a great thing.
Other than that, yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how do we catch you on socials or promotion or?
Yeah,
what we got?
socials. I mean, I have my gym Instagram, Jiu-Jitsu Kaizen Academy,
Okay.
and then yeah, you can catch me on there.
All right. Appreciate your time.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Right on.